What's going on, Frankie? Keegan? Frankie? Yeah? Oh, yeah. Thank you. Everything's fine. Hope the same for you. I tell you, after we get a rain after a long time, those cicadas just really start singing. No rain at your house. Wow. Unfrickin' real. Yeah, you're welcome, Frankie. The cicadas were just singing a song I have not heard. You were pissed? Yeah. Just a chill spot right here, man. It's right by the front door. You've got a sticker on the door. The Dying, Plania, Clark's Boots, bucket, some driftwood. I need to sweep it off over here, but it could be worse. A certain level of filth I can tolerate. Not too much. Nice. They don't take long to flower, yeah. Congrats on your flowering Patanga tuba. It's today Friday, right? I did some listings on eBay for some cool shit, dude. I'm slowly trickling out what I have left for the year. I bet you I've got 50, 60 grafted plants left to sell. And then I'm going to have to do it all over again for the next year. But it'll be November before you know it. I'll start grafting in November, I bet. Maybe even October. Literally, as soon as the weather changes, I'll start grafting again. I don't care. As soon as the heat is done, I will start grafting. I mean, that's a tree right there in itself, man. To be sitting across from that right there, look at that miracle fruit. Looks like an oak tree. That's one of the most beautiful ones I had. That's nice. That tree can take the heat, and it can take the cold. It just needs acid and water. The grafts take about a month and a half, a month maybe, a little more. A little less, a little more maybe. You can sell them after about 2 months. You gotta let the leaves push out once, harden off, then start to push again. Yeah, you'll get it. You'll get it. It's a timing issue. I made the huh noise and the chicken made a noise. Maybe it wasn't related to me actually because he's making it again. Well, we got 5 people here. I guess we could get started with today's discussion. First off, for those who haven't been here before, let me go ahead and introduce myself. My name, yeah, Flying Fox Fruits. We did this logo with my mom. I'm Adam Shafran. That's a miracle fruit inside of a Patanga tuba. It's been cut transversely. Flying Fox is a fruit bat. A gray-headed fruit bat is the one we use. And then it's got little branches, jaboticaba instead of the olive branch, and then instead of the arrow, and then from the Great Seal of the United States. You've seen it on a quarter before. George Washington on the other side, wooden teeth and all. It's actually a misnomer. He didn't have wooden teeth. Come here, buddy. Oh, fuck. I just sat on a bottle. Oh, she wants that lizard. That lizard just ran through his life. Oh, she sees the driftwood. She's like, I'll use this driftwood to get you. So regal. Thanks. Anyhow, so I got into the growing business about, you know how it goes. You start off as a collector. And I bet you I started collecting. I started growing plants and shit back in 2000. Fuck, I forget now. 2005, maybe. Yeah, 2005. I went over to the local nursery and I got figs and strawberries, and there was already citrus growing in our yard. I got a Venus flytrap and I got it to flower in my window. This is when the time when you would have been getting out of college. I bet you I was like 23 at the time, living with some girl, okay? Doing everything wrong in life except for growing plants. Had a cute cat, had some dogs at the time. It's amazing how fast you get old. Yeah, I used to rent a house, growing plants there, and I came into some money through a business venture. And then I bought a house. That's when shit really, because you're renting a house, you don't live with mom and dad anymore. You're 23, 25, whatever. Then you start to say, fuck, I'm having to pay for the lawn service. I'm not. Hey Russia, how we doing today? I got some people in Russia that bought some plants from me a long time ago. They're out there, but we're not going to get derailed into a Russia did this, America did that, China did that right now, okay? We're going to keep talking about whatever the fuck I was talking about. What was it? I moved over there and I did that and I started growing. And when you move out of your house and I've said this before, but kind of moved out of the house. I was renting at first. I bought a fig tree. I got a fig tree. There's some citrus growing. Okay. Then we bought a house. When I was about 25, I bought a house. First house I ever got. Well, shit. I got the mortgage for a house. I didn't buy it. You know what I mean. Took out a mortgage on a house, I should say, that would eventually have been foreclosed. But, once you buy a house, that's when you really are like, all right, I bought a house. I've got some extra money. Let me mess around with the yard. And then I messed around with the yard. I got a well put in. I remember getting a well put in to save on water. That was great. Over where I used to live, it was night and day, man. Getting that well put in was awesome. At the time, it cost like $800 or something. I got a little shallow well put in instead of using the city water. That was the best thing I ever did, living in the city. Yeah, I had my own little house. It was a 1/4 acre lot in Winter Park, and it was right across the lake from John Kimber. It's okay, yeah. Okay, just listen for a while, okay? Thank you very much, all the way across the ocean. Let's just listen to this asshole talking over here a little while, okay? We're gonna hold the comments and just listen to this asshole with the camera narrate about his pitiful fucking life, okay? Now let me keep going. What happened? Oh yeah, I bought a house, growing all my own shit. No, I got the deed for a house, mortgage. That would eventually be foreclosed. Was reeling in the money back in 2005 to 2007 before that whole real estate crash. We were buying and selling or whatever, had a real estate investment firm and made really good money. But then that fell apart. But I threw over I had bought a house and started growing my own stuff. And it started with natives. I was all into the natives, and then I bought books on foraging. I wanted to forage. You know what I mean? I was a collector. I liked to collect rocks and gems and squirrels and lizards and parrots and shit. You know what I mean? I like to see all the variety in life. My dad, when I was young, he would buy these field guides, and I would just sit there and thumb through, and it had butterflies and moths and stupid shit where there wasn't just one, there was 20, 30, 40 of the same thing over and over. And I like to be wanting to know all the different varieties, you know what I'm saying? Like, I always had a thing for collecting and varieties and not just one, you know? So I got into collecting. It was the natives, foraging. Yeah, man, I got fucking North American edible plants or something, like a guide to eating all the. I just was like, listen, I like to eat weird shit. If it's edible, let me at least taste it, because I want to just like be walking on the trail and pick off some shit that someone says is poisonous and be like, nah, you can eat that, dude. Or if I ever get lost, I don't want to starve. I was like, shit, I'll be out in the woods sometimes. Or like, it's just useful to know all the edible shit around you. And then as I started to research it, I was like, dang, there's all this edible shit all around you. Like, and then, you know, Eat the Weeds, that guy, Dean Green, his channel was pretty hype. Just to let you know what's around you that's edible. That was my first getting into this shit. But then I was like, wait a second. This cat's growing a mango. I heard you couldn't grow mango here. Or like, maybe I could try to grow this. And I got that Florida's Best Fruiting Plants. You know that one? Florida's Best Fruiting Plants by Charles Boning. That was the book that turned me on. Like, if you're a beginner and and if you're in Florida especially, yeah, I was gonna say, if you live in Florida and you're a beginner, Florida's Best Fruiting Plants was the one for me, where you sit down. He does Charles Boning. He does the rating system with the stars and shit. And I give that book, you know, like a 5 out of 5 stars. You know, he just for someone on the entry level, he put out what he knew. He drew me in. He put pictures of shit that I was like, what the fuck is that? He did really good illustrations too. I like his artwork in that. I like it. I'll give him a big shout out. Charles Boning, Florida's Best Fruiting Plants. That book. See, I started buying books. I didn't even realize that. I forgot to tell you. I used to buy books. I don't really buy books anymore. But I used to buy these fucking books, man. I buy all these books. Not a lot, but just sometimes I'd be like, I need another book to read on the toilet. Well, that Florida's Best Fruiting Plants was one of the best investments I ever made. And I read the book front to back so many times and I let people borrow it, that I ended up just giving it away, because it was kind of like a beginner thing to me. I probably shouldn't have given it away, but it was softback. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe one day we'll write a book, but I just don't think I can. I don't think I have the patience for it, man. I'll just run my mouth. We're doing an audio book right now, okay? We're writing it right now. I just don't have a pen and paper. What was I talking about? Yeah. And then, yeah. I forget. Help me out. Where was I? We were writing a book. I started buying all these books, but I tell you, the best book I ever bought. Well, no, and then I started going online collecting seeds and shit, trying to find anything I could. I was like, dang, I'm onto something here. There's all these rare fruits. I was like, let me see how many I can get and this and that. And then I got in the chat groups, and then I met people on the internet. You know, that was a big part of it, where I was already growing, but I really had no presence in social media. And it wasn't until an older fella was like, he's like, hey man, you should get on these groups, dude. He's like, they're on here trading stuff. And I'm like, whoa, what are you talking about? I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. Like, I don't want to get online. He's like, yeah, you can get stuff. People trade. Go online. Get on a group. And I was like, okay. And I did that, which was some of the best advice I'd ever got. Oh, I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. Chili baby back, baby back, baby back. Yeah, come here, buddy. So, what happened? We were, he told me to get on them groups, right? And I was like, all right, I got on the groups. Then I started, trying to buy everything I could locally, traveling all around Florida. I went everywhere, trying to meet everyone I could. Oh, she's cleaning herself. And then I started collecting. The first time I saw Jabo de Cabo was in his book, the Charles Boning book. But then Oscar at Fruit Lovers Nursery was pretty, what do you call it, incremental in me getting started. A really good guy. I used to sell him seeds, but Fruit Lovers Nursery, I remember going to his website and being like, oh my God, look at all this stuff he has. But then like going to the books I was reading. Oh no, I bought Brazilian fruits and cultivated exotics from his website. He had it for sale for $89. And I was like, what's this book, this Brazilian fruits book? But that was the best purchase I ever made in my life. Literally, treasure map just came out. I guess I was just lucky looking at the right time in the right place. And when the book came out, I read it all the time, front to back, just go through everything. I remember reading it every day for maybe 2 years, 3 years, maybe 2 years every day. And then after about a year of reading it and then going out into the real world and then reading other books and reading everything online, shit started to click that wasn't in the book. Like there would be things where I'd be like, well, that can't be true. Or, I've seen this and that and this doesn't make sense. And then I started to piece shit together that hadn't really been pieced together in any of the books or in any literature. Like, for instance, that everyone in the United States is calling Myrcieria cauliflora plenia, you know what I mean? Even before they changed the plenias and the Myrcierias over, they were calling Myrcieria cauliflora for the regular Jaboticaba that everyone has, but that's not what it is. It's Plenia Jaboticaba variety Sabra. And I remember being the one to kind of figure that out. Come here. Come on up, buddy. Sometimes she jumps up. And then, grafting them. I was like thinking of reasons to graft them and why they would be grafted and how they're grafted and got into grafting and all that. But anyway, I started collecting and growing, and I had my plants at my house in Winter Park, the one that I got. And then I had plants at a farm, and I would have to drive from location to location. Long story short, I ended up moving from there to here, and I got help from my father to buy this property. We got this property because I was renting. I got foreclosed on that first house I bought. We got foreclosed. And I rented next door for like 6 or 7 years or whatever. Kind of a long story there, but we got this place about 7 years ago, 6.5 maybe. And it was a bromeliad farm, a bromeliad nursery. That's why there's all these bromeliads here. Look, see all these bromeliads? They came with the place. Some really nice guys sold us the property. And it didn't look a lot like this. When I moved in, it was like right here, okay? This was all junk shit, like a bunch of shit plants, like a giant viburnum and cherry laurel, a bunch of just shit plants right here along this side of the house, okay? All this was shit plants, and I paid a guy to come in and tear it out. And the reason I did that is because it's the southeast side of my house, and it's one of the warmest spots, and they had all this junk growing here that was just really worthless. So I made sure to pay someone to come in and do some tree work. It was nothing too big. It was all light shit. They gutted this all. That was like the first thing I did was gut the southeast side of the house, the ground. And I was tempted to tear out a lot of these bromeliads because they are in a really prime spot. And I still might do that a little bit. But there's a ton of bromeliads here that I did leave. There was a ton that I tore out. There was probably a bunch of stock worth some good money that I tore out here. So we left a lot of the bromeliads because where they grow, it stays moist, and there's weeds. Weeds aren't growing there. They're pretty. Hummingbirds hit them, whatever. Frogs like them, mosquitoes, all that shit. Anyhow, we tore that out, and then I planted some really rare shit over here. Look at the graft line on this Cherry of the Rio Grande, and then Calycina. Look at the difference in the bark color. Look at you. Just showed up like that. Come on up. You jump on arms anymore? She won't do it because she's on camera. Come here, Peanut. Come on up. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. You jump my arm right down here. I gotta grab you. Jump up all the way up here. She used to do it sometimes. Not today. Look at this ESALQ. Is getting to be like 12 feet tall. Put my hand in a spider web. So I made sure to gut that and put something rare there. Cambuca. See if there's a fruit on this one. Oh look, flowers on the Glomerata. Myrcieria glomerata. This fruited pretty well actually. And I got some seedlings coming up that I can sell later this year, hopefully. If a squirrel doesn't tear them out of the ground. And I'm tempted to plant the other one in the ground. I've got it in a pot right here. And it wants to go in the ground. It does. I'm going to put it in the ground. It had fruit, but I think they fell off on the one in the pot. I'm sorry. Yeah, this needs to go in the ground for sure. It'll just live a happier life. The trick is don't put them where they get too hot. So, I forget what I was talking about, but it had something to do with moving here and growing plants. This all used to be different. A lot more shit plants everywhere. We pulled them out. There was nothing. This was all just grass. I have pictures of that, just a straight field. And then slowly we put stuff in all over. Put in trees over there, all this we put in. A lot of the trees that I had when I came were really big and needed to be planted. Oh, look what we did. I put this shade structure over my Garcinia, the lemon drop, fucking Luke's Garcinia. I put this shade cloth over it because the sun's been just beating it up. And then I don't know. I'm thinking about trying to I need to come up and maybe dig this up, maybe. I don't know if it'll dig though. Oh dang, there's Pitanga tubas on the ground. They usually get stolen by this. Good. Just that one. And when I first moved in, it was so wet too. The ground really got saturated a lot. And I didn't realize how hot it was here. This place is really hot. Okay. It has something to do with the location, but here will be 5 to 7 degrees warmer than 5 miles down the road. We have a very low elevation. I think that plays into it. Really, it's just hit or miss here. It's like all or nothing. It's almost like a desert here somehow, where the nighttime temperatures are cooler by 3 to 5 degrees. And the daytime is like living in a swamp. Daytime temperatures 5 to 7 degrees hotter. Very unforgiving for certain plants. Like when I moved in, I remember a lot of the people being like, oh, that area, you can't grow shit out there but palm trees. And that was probably true, for the last 50, 60 years or whatever. But there's all these experimental crops that are coming in and these new plants that we have. that luckily they do okay. They would have done a lot better if it wasn't so wet and so hot here. But now they've come and they put in a pond over here. And that's really changed the dynamics of the property. They're still working. But there's that big retention pond right there. They just put that in. And it made the water table now a lot lower. It used to be high water table where the trees would really suffered from it being too wet all the time. And they just didn't grow as well. And now it seems to be pretty nice. I've seen some trees really start to show signs of improvement, for sure. Oh, look at that. This is nice. Should try to go for some hybrids on that ES-ALQ. Flowering really well. This a little tree. Looks like it got raided. It had fruit on it. They're gone. Keeps getting raided. This area here used to be so wet. Oh my gosh, the wettest part of the yard for sure. For sure. Saturated all the time. Not saturated, but you dig down 3 feet, 2 feet, guaranteed you're hitting water. Now I bet you it's 4 foot, 5 foot. Maybe even further. I haven't tested it. Haven't been in the mood to start digging down. Did want to show something. Yeah, these truncifloras I had planted in the ground. I've come to the conclusion finally that they do not like wet feet. I don't think. I could be wrong about that. But the ones that I've had here for so many, ever since they put in the new pond and the water table's gotten lower, they've taken on a prettier look to them. I'm gonna go over there and look at those truncifloras really quick. This is what I did want to show off. My grafted Cambuca. Probably 10 years since I grafted it from Larry Schatzer's tree. Got a nice fruit set. I gotta cover that up before something knocks it off. It's gonna get knocked off any day now. Something wants to knock it off for sure. I've got 2 Cambuca fruit set. Probably enough fruit to list lemon drop mangosteens again. I might do another listing for 4 or 5 boxes. It's been a really good year. Let's look at those truncifloras really quick. Here we go. So let's start off on this one. This is a trunciflora hybrid that is probably Trunciflora and Sabra. Came from Charles Novak's collection via Scion. I had some grafted and someone fruited one before me, but I've tasted the fruit, but my tree hasn't fruited. Probably because it was not happy being too wet. But since the water table has changed, this tree even looks better too. Looks just perfect. Like 0 leaf tip burn. This is a really strong, a really nice tree. I'm gonna graft more of those. I've just been waiting to do it. And then the truncifloras in the ground usually have pretty bad burnt leaf tips. And now it's very minimum. Considering the amount of drought and heat we've had, this tree looks phenomenal compared to how it normally does. You know, I was gonna dig this other one up too because of how bad it looks. Like, I literally have never seen the leaves look so good so long on this tree. And look at these peeling. Look at it peeling like that. Big sheets of bark are coming off, which is a good sign because these are old pieces of wood where it's been covered with the same lichens for years, and it hasn't peeled like this in years. So, good morning. Yeah, I'm really pleased with the way this tree looks. And then this one over here, the one that Toppy gave me. Rest in peace. I don't like to say rest in peace because he's not resting. He's still, you know what I mean. He's planting trees in heaven, or however that works. There's no rest to be done in heaven. You got to just keep going. Anyway, this tree This tree looked really bad. Really bad. Like this all the time is how the leaves would look. Like that. But now with the water table change, looks really good in my opinion. And then all this bark peeled off. I was at the other day peeling off the bark. Look how old these you know, these lichens take years to form. And like, look at that old crusty, dingy, nasty ass bark coming off. It's really nice to see it growing. Yeah, it's covered in nasty shit. Get your peel on. Probably not good to peel it, but I like to do it. It's like when you get a suntan or skin, you know what I'm talking about. I was doing this the other day and I came across a nest of ants that were under the bark, and it was crazy. Like 1,000 of them came running out all at once, like sugar ants. I'd love to get that on film, slow motion. It would be viral. See if I can find one nest of ants here. Nope. No, I never thought of it. I just did whatever worked, you know? And I didn't veer from that. I'm just not much of an experimental guy. At a certain point, I just do what I know. Anyway, this tree's looking really good. I was gonna dig it up, but now I'm thinking it may be able to stay where it is, especially given that all of this peeled like that. And look at all that, that's like new growth. To see a tree shed that much bark, you should be happy. That means it's expanding, it's growing, it's thriving. When they're doing poorly, they get locked with that shit like this. See, this is a bad, unhappy looking tree. Locked in, no peeling, all same color, no patchiness. That means it's been unhappy. But then over here at the bottom, it's starting to go, looking good. It's gonna take time for this tree. It's a Paulista I let get real bad in the pot. And the top of it's like still died back. I gotta cut that with a pruning shear. She's out by the front door, I thought. Underneath the chair, maybe? Morning. Annona cornifolia is what I got this labeled as, but that's not, I don't think that's what it is. It's like the ants have found it. The hell off of me. Doesn't really do much. Oh, this little grafted Pitanga tuba, I thought it would have died so many times, but it won't die. It keeps living somehow. It's really strong. It made it through the winter, 25 degrees uncovered. And see, before that pond was in, this ditch would fill with water all the time. Now I seldom see it filled. Let them have it. It's gonna need like the top layer of soil replaced on it. I just pulled it all off. Them weeds. I've been letting that go way too long. Organic fertilizer. I mean, weeds and shit. It's pretty good in here. Need to be fertilized. A lot of work needs to be done. Wow, look at this white jaboticaba. Go and nuts. This is one that's really old and it's been hard for me to grow. Really like weak and unhappy, but now it's come a long way. Oh yeah. Hanging on by a thread. Still pushing. Cannot keep that happy. Oh, this one did well though. The variegated lemon drop. Looking really good. Patterns hold up. This went green over here though. Look at that. I'm gonna have to cut that off. That's the way it seems to do. One part goes green. Here's the mother tree here. And it has the same exact thing going on where it's variegated real nice over here, and then we got this green piece right here where it's like I gotta cut that off. Probably has some mealy bugs on it and shit. Here I've been throwing them in with orders when I can. Love the flavor on them. Looking pretty good on the fruit. We got some still. Definitely enough to ship some orders. Nice, they don't look bad at all. Yep, we'll do that. Let's just grab these early. Gardneriana fruits, these are kind of small. Oh fuck, I almost slipped. Little grafted Gardneriana here that I made as a backup for my mother tree. I like the way the tree looks. It's really pretty. I think we might be able to throw the water on in here. It's kind of hot. We'll throw you on, and we'll throw this guy on. We gotta come back and turn them off. No more bugs crawling around on this since I poisoned it. It's just a matter of time to see how long before it starts growing out again, but I think it is a whatever. They're like, you know, white, waxy looking almost. So waiting for this Cambuca to flower. It's one of the smaller ones I have. The tree itself is not that tall, but should be ready to flower, I would think. Looking. It was really unhappy for several years. I had it in a pot. I guess there's some kind of chemicals in the water that made it like swell up like it was taking steroids. And then those branches kind of normalized after I planted it. Must have had some kind of... No flowers. See if we can find another fruit on this. There's one that's set, but is there another that I don't see? They hide so well. Just the one. Need to cover that. This bitch. Wow. Nice. Look at all the peeling going on. Wow, that's a happy tree right there when it does that. Wow. It really needed to go into the next size pot. It just totally shed everything like all at once. Wow. That's gorgeous. Wow. Looks like it's gonna flower again really good. Look at all that came right off. Oh, they're digging in there, you assholes. Get out of there. Put some rocks in there or something. Here we go. Hey. You want a little bit? I'll share with you. Hold on. Let's eat this together, boss. Put the camera right there. Okay. First, we're gonna have miracle fruit. This is the Garcinia gardneriana. That'll change your taste buds. Now they're all gonna be sweet. So first you have your miracle fruit. Share, share. Everybody got their miracle fruit? Taste your miracles. Get it on your tongue. There you go, yeah. There you go, yeah. That's sweet. You can taste it, buddy. You can taste it, buddy. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, no, no, shit. Oh, you spit it out. Good girl. They cleaned my seed up. Put that there. Now we're going to enjoy this fruit, you guys. Looky, looky. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Get my eye. She got my mouth. I don't know if you saw that. All right. Sweet. It's good with the miracle fruit. I think they like it more. I'm gonna try one more. I got my Three Stooges here. There's the three girls. They all look the same. That's pretty good. The rind has an interesting flavor I can't describe. 3 viewers and 3 chickens. We're all family here. We are family. All my motherfucking chickens and me. All right, guys. I'll see you later.